Yo, what is up fam? What is up beautiful people? This week we're going to be talking about self-appreciation and why we should take the time every day to give ourselves some love. Let's get it. Now the main reason that I'm making this video is because I work at a gym. I look after a gym and a lot of my members that come in, that work their asses off, every time they leave, they're finding a way to put themselves down. Now they've obviously come in, they've overcome that hurdle and that voice that says, quit now and be comfortable. They've put themselves through the grinder and improved themselves both mentally and physically, but still they find a way to bash themselves. And I'm sure most of you can relate this back to any area of your life where you're genuinely working hard, yet you still find a reason, find a way to put yourself down or bash yourself for your efforts. Now this may be their way of attacking themselves first so other people don't get the chance to do so, or it may be simple unappreciation for the effort that they've just made because they only have eyes for the finish line. Be it one or the other though, it doesn't really matter. By doing this, we're consistently telling ourselves that we aren't good enough, whether we actually believe that at first, and in doing so, we overlook the actions we're doing day in and day out to better ourselves. By doing this, we're programming our subconscious to believe that we are in fact exactly what it is that we're negatively reinforcing, whether that's mentally, spiritually, or physically. And from here, to make things worse, if at some point our actions match what it is that we're telling ourselves and others, so for example, if you're saying you're fat to people and then you go and eat a piece of cake, or you're saying that you're not a good guy or a good chick and you go and lie, you go and cheat, if those actions that we're doing match what it is that we're negatively reinforcing, we're going to be more likely to continue those negative actions because we will have over time, through both insecurity and a lack of presence of mind, convinced ourselves that that is in fact who we are, and we just needed something to prove it until we fully bought into it. So to negate this, what I'm going to propose is that you take time for yourself every day, audit you and your progress. Look at your starting point, compare it to where you are now, then make note of the work you've done in between. Because no doubt there's going to be a lot of work that you've put in that through using that negative reinforcement you've overlooked or left unappreciated. Now the work I'm talking about is those early mornings, the late nights, the blood, sweat and tears, and all those times that you push through your perceived limitations. And make note of the hours and the days that you've put in to improving yourself. Now once you have, get in front of a mirror. This is going to be awkward, it's going to be tough, but you need to get in front of that mirror and you need to say thank you for whatever it is that you feel you've achieved so far. Now yes, it's going to be awkward because most of us aren't going to be used to giving ourselves love, giving ourselves that depth, that appreciation that we deserve. But maybe, just maybe, you'll even begin to smile at yourself with gratitude for the recognition that you've been holding back. Now this is in fact something that I do myself most days for both my weight loss journey and my journey with Open Up the podcast and all this sort of content. So for my weight loss journey, that started about a year ago and I've dropped about 22 kgs. Gone from someone the doctor said had the lungs of an asthmatic, quizzing me about whether I was diabetic or not, or whether diabetes was in my family. Now I've lost that 22 kgs, but I was only able to do it once I started implementing this every day into my life. Every day I'd take my shirt off and in that mirror, I'd see a fat guy. But instead that conversation turned from, come on you fat shit, to thank you for what you're doing for me, bro. I really appreciate it. I love what you're doing for me and I trust that if we keep doing this, we'll get to where we want to be. Now how important is that? How good would you feel on your journey if you had someone say that to you? That is confidence. And that is not just confidence in the moment, that is confidence in the process. And now with my Open Up journey, it's turned from you're a nobody, who are you to do this, to you're helping people, bro. Thank you for the work that you do. Now for most of us, because we're brought up to be humble, we're brought up to not brag, especially if you're from that Pacific Island culture, you're not going to be comfortable with saying that sort of stuff to yourself. But over time you get more comfortable, you get more vulnerable with yourself, and once we can become vulnerable with ourselves, everything begins to open up. Once we can do this with ourselves, we can do this with others. And now, because I'm working consistently towards my goals for both my weight loss and my Open Up journey, and now positively reinforcing the actions I'm taking daily of going to the gym and making time to create this content, I'm finding it easier and easier to stop my monkey mind from telling me that I'm not good enough. And from there, flipping that thought to gratitude for all I've achieved so far, whether or not I actually achieved my end goals. Now, the reason that I feel like this is important, and this is something that I say to new members of our gym that come in, is if you don't learn to appreciate yourself throughout the process, if you just have eyes for the prize, if you're focusing on that prize rather than the process, you're going to get to that end goal. You're going to get to where you want to be. You're going to get to where you envision yourself being happy, but you're not going to be. I'm going to tell you why. It's because you haven't learnt to appreciate yourself. So when you get there, how are you going to be able to give yourself that love? Because it's a practice. You have to get good at it. And to get good, we need to make a habit of doing so throughout this journey, throughout this process, so that when we finally do reach that end goal, we can give ourselves the recognition we deserve. So to wrap up, take time. Please take time to ask yourself this question: what actions am I taking consistently that have improved my life or the lives of the people around me? Now, that's a super important question. And when you ask that, more than likely there's going to be 1, 2, or 3 things that come to mind instantly. Now, when you think about that, when you think about what you've done and how you've changed yours and the lives of the people around you, don't you think that deserves a little bit of appreciation? It's time to stop holding back from yourself. Open up, let go, and give yourself the love you deserve. Take care, guys. Ciao.